Hi, I'm Molly. Welcome to my channel, and let's start the story. Recovering from PTSD, former war photographer Jack Zeller has his regular session with psychiatrist Dr. Vogel. Elsewhere, Jack's fiancée Claire buys Jack a vintage film camera at an estate auction and gives it to him as an early anniversary gift. Despite his initial reluctance to take up photography again, Jack uses the camera to take building and property photos around town for Claire, who is a realtor. Jack later drops off 10 rolls of film to be developed at a commercial lab that night. A mysterious fire breaks out at the photo lab. Meanwhile, Claire goes jogging and has a frightful encounter with a perverted stalker, which she tells Jack about when she returns home. Jack meets his friend Walt at a bar for a drink. Walt encourages Jack to embrace his return to photography. While watching the news with Claire, Jack learns of a boy who broke his neck at a community park. Jack recalls photographing that same park the previous day. Jack returns to the lab to pick up his photos. The manager tells Jack about the fire and explains that all of Jack's photos somehow came out black and white. While looking through his photos at home, Jack finds a picture of the dead boy at the park. He also finds photos of a dead construction worker, a dead boy at a local pool, and a dead woman in a house. Jack revisits the construction site. A worker suddenly plummets to his death, exactly as depicted in Jack's photo. Jack goes to the community pool the next day with Claire and her realtor friend Shannon with the intention of preventing the boy's death. Jack experiences haunting visions of himself taking the photo and of a bloody boy waiting in the water, but eventually leaves without incident. Later, Claire tells Jack the news that a boy drowned shortly after they left. Without explanation, Jack shows his photos to Walt to make sure he isn't seeing things. Although he is on medication, Jack begins losing time and experiencing hallucinations that cause him to question his sanity. Jack goes to the home of the dead woman in the photo in time to rescue her from a house fire. The woman, Elise Partridge, survives. However, Elise's elderly mother dies in the blaze. Jack researches Noah Strom, the camera's previous owner. Jack discovers that Strom collected serial killer memorabilia and his camera originally belonged to Charlie Hibbert, a missing family man accused of being the infamous honeymoon killer. Charlie's wife took her own life in front of Charlie when she discovered their son poisoned in a family cabin. Jack takes the camera to antiques dealer Bernard for examination. Bernard confirms that the camera contains custom pieces, but claims it is incapable of generating an exposure. After Jack's remaining photos are developed, he finds a photo of Elise Partridge as well as one depicting Claire lying dead on the ground outside Petterman's restaurant. Jack calls Claire to cancel their planned anniversary dinner at Petterman's, but discovers she is already there. Jack rushes to the restaurant and convinces Claire to leave with him immediately. A mugger confronts the couple at gunpoint in the parking garage. Jack tosses Claire's purse to the mugger, causing him to fire errantly. A nearby vagrant is struck by the bullet and falls to the ground below, landing exactly as Claire did in the photo. Detective Dawson questions Jack about the incident while Detective Ford takes Claire's statement. Jack sees that Claire is now shown tied to a barbell bench in another photograph. Jack searches Charlie Hibbert's last known address and finds an underground bunker containing a skeleton and videotapes. Jack watches the tapes, which show Charlie ranting madly about stopping a cycle of death. Jack concludes that in order to save someone from a foretold death, another victim must die in that person's place. Jack tracks down and captures the pervert who stalked Claire previously and murders him according to the picture with the barbell bench. The photograph eventually changes to depict the murdered man instead of Claire. A new photograph shows Claire dead in the foyer of a vacant property she is selling. When hardware store owner Tad questions Jack about supplies he is purchasing, Jack kills Tad following a brutal fight and positions him in the empty house according to the picture. Claire finds the body while showing the home to prospective buyers, which prompts detectives Dawson and Ford to question the couple once again. Claire confronts Jack about his increasingly bizarre behavior and lying. As haunting imagery escalates, Jack purchases a gun at a pawnshop and finds that a new photograph shows Claire dead in the bathtub of another vacant property. Jack picks up a prostitute and kills her in the bathtub of that empty home. Claire's friend Shannon stumbles upon Jack after the act, forcing him to murder her too. Violent visions continue haunting Jack. He finds a final photo depicting Claire gagged in a warehouse and prepares for one last murder to save her life. Detectives Dawson and Ford bring Jack down to the police station for questioning. Without any evidence to hold him on, Vincent forces the detectives to let Jack go. After Jack leaves, the photo lab manager comes to the station to report Jack's strange photos, setting Dawson and Ford after Jack once again. Dawson and Ford find the final photo of Claire while searching Jack's home and rush to the warehouse. Unable to find a vagrant to kill, Jack orders a pizza to be delivered to the warehouse. Jack takes the deliveryman at gunpoint only to discover that the driver is his friend Walt. Jack prepares to shoot Walt anyway, but is drawn away when he hears a gunshot in the distance. Jack rushes to another part of the warehouse where he finds Claire dead as depicted in the photograph. Holding a gun over her is Charlie Hibbert. Charlie says, "This had to end, Jack." Jack collapses on the ground next to Claire's body as sirens are heard approaching from the distance. I hope you like the story and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to hear more movie stories.